If anyone needs tips for a 1998 Dodge Ram, we got some for sale. How's it going, YouTube? I really don't know what this video is going to be about, so kind of just bear with me. I just wanted to show you guys the new, I was going to say project, but it's not really a project, so I have been daily driving it for about a week and a half. But let me kind of just show you guys what I'm talking about. So this is my new to me 1998 Dodge Ram 1500 with 100 and I think I bought it with 175,000 miles on it. I've already put about 400 or 500 miles on it in the last week and a half. I've been driving the absolute beans out of this thing. But I want to go ahead and kind of show you guys some mistakes that I made when I did buy this truck. I didn't plan on buying this truck, so that's kind of what led to some of the mistakes that I made when I bought this truck. But we'll go ahead and go over those now. So a couple things that led to me making mistakes that I did. Me and the seller both didn't get off to about 5:30, and they live about 45 minutes from me. So by the time I actually got to see the truck, it was kind of getting late in the evening, and you really don't want to see a truck or a vehicle in general at nighttime whenever you're trying to buy it and see it for the first time. So that was one of the first things. The second thing is I actually brought my girlfriend and daughter with me, and usually you want to bring someone, like your ride, you usually want to bring someone that also knows about vehicles. That way they kind of walk around the vehicle at the same time with you and kind of maybe see stuff that you don't see on your first inspection. And my girlfriend really doesn't care about trucks, so she was kind of just hanging out with our baby the entire time as I was talking to the seller. So that was another issue. So don't see it at night. Usually you want to bring somebody with you that kind of knows something about trucks as well, or whatever vehicle you're looking at. The third thing is I'm kind of an impulse buyer. So like I said, I didn't plan on buying this truck, but I went ahead, I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. It had been posted for like 30 minutes. Immediately texted the guy and said, hey, actually it was his wife. I immediately texted his wife and said, hey, when can I come take a look at the truck? I have a soft spot for these trucks. I think between me and my brother, we've owned like 4 or 5 of these models, these second generation Dodge. I haven't owned a gas one. We've owned the Cummins, the 24 valves. But so this will be my first gas one, which is actually another mistake that I made, which we'll kind of go over too. But I just want to kind of get that out of the air, that I kind of made a bunch of mistakes that kind of led to the bigger mistakes that I did later on. So that kind of just explains that. And now we can kind of go over the 3 major things that I missed because of the mistakes that I made leading up to buying this vehicle. Okay, first mistake. I don't think the seller knew about this, or at least that's what I'm kind of telling myself to make myself feel better. I knew about the big dent and the rust spot in this rear quarter panel and the bed. Just a little history on this truck. This truck has been owned by him twice in the past. He's had it in total for 8 years. But he sold it to a buddy for like 3 months, ended up missing the truck, ended up buying it again. I ended up seeing that on the Carfax that he actually did tell the truth on that. He actually did own the truck twice. But this truck was on a farm in Lower Alabama. And this truck for the past 4 years has not gone over 25 miles an hour. It has had one oil change a year, and has had a tank of gas. I think he said he would go through a tank of gas every 4 months or something like that. So rarely had any new gas into it, and only had an oil change once a year. So that kind of gives you a little backstory on this truck. That's why there's the big dent, because he was pulling hay on the farm for his cows and jackknifed the trailer and hit the back of the bed. That's where that dent came from. But anyways, was walking around the truck. I said, hey, do you have any more rust on the truck? He said no. I don't think he knew about the other rust. At least that's what I'm telling myself to make myself feel better. But the next day I was kind of doing another walk around in the daylight after bringing it home. And if you come over here, there's a lot of rust on the bottom side of the door. I shouldn't say a lot of rust. It's really just this little spot, a little bit right here. But it's not on the rest of the door. It's just on this back little corner right here. And if you're standing up, and he was a bigger dude, I mean, it is kind of hard to see, I suppose. And especially, and it is on the passenger side, so there's no telling. You know, maybe his wife just never noticed it when she was hopping in and out of it, or his kids. But I don't think he knew about that, because he seemed like a pretty genuine guy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and chop that up and just say it was just a mistake on my part for not actually walking around the truck more, which that would be a mistake on my part. I'm buying a truck. I should be walking around the truck and kind of inspecting it. But I knew it wasn't gonna be a perfect truck. Like I said in the beginning, this truck had, or has 177,000 miles on it, and it was up for sale for $4,200. I ended up getting it for around $38. So I knew obviously going into it, a $3,800 truck is not gonna be perfect. So this is kind of just a video, like I said, just kind of showing you mistakes that I made and kind of help you guys not make the same mistakes. So lesson 1, look at the truck in the daylight, inspect it as much as you can. Second mistake, going back to my V8 comment, I've owned these trucks in Cummins. So like as you can see there, this is a V8 Magnum. On the test drive of this truck, I had, once again, my girlfriend in the passenger seat. I didn't want to leave my girlfriend and baby at just some random guy's house I just met in the middle of nowhere in Alabama on a cow farm. So we just had her sit in the driver's seat and had my baby sit in her lap. And so on the test drive, I was kind of driving down the roads, but this guy lives down this long, windy road that's in the middle of all these fields, and there's curves like all on this road, like driving through fields and everything. So there's not really a spot that you can get up and go and really get over like 40, 45 miles an hour. And I don't know these roads. It's getting dark now, so I got the headlights on, which are super dull. I actually have a new set of headlights at my house now that I'm gonna throw on. But I'm driving down these back roads that I don't know. It's dark. I have my girlfriend and my baby sitting in her lap. So I'm not going crazy, obviously. I'm not trying to drive 65, 70 miles an hour down the road to see what this thing has. So I can tell it's a V8. I pop the hood, I can tell it's a V8. And everything's driving fine. I turn the key, all the lights come on, check engine, blah, 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 and they all turn off. So that's all good to go. So I know there's nothing wrong with the motor or the trans. Because when you turn the key, all the lights turn on. When you crank the truck, all the lights turn off. So everything is good to go there. So on the test drive, I drive it for about 20, maybe 20 minutes, and that's kind of pushing it. And I'm doing about in between 25 and 40 miles an hour, just kind of braking, going, making sure it's not overheating, looking at all the temps, making sure all the pressures are all good to go on the speedometer, making sure that the RPM gauge, everything works like that. So I'm kind of focusing on a bunch of random things and not noticing this truck is pretty damn slow. And I didn't realize that until after I bought the truck, and we drive about 30 minutes, get back to the highway, and I go to get on the highway, and this thing is literally slower than a two-legged turtle walking through molasses going uphill. This thing is incredibly slow. And mind you, I don't expect it to be a race truck. It's got a brush guard, so a little bit more weight. It's got 35s on it, a little bit more weight. But this thing is stupid slow. Like, it feels like it's running on two cylinders. Like, it struggles to get up to 60 miles an hour. And so I'm getting on the I'm getting on the highway, and I'm like almost pedal to the metal trying to get this thing to go. It will get up to 65, 70, and it'll cruise at 70, but it takes a minute to get there. So I go home, I'm doing a little bit of research, kind of just typing in like, why is my truck slow, blah, 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 1998 Dodge Ram, blah, blah, blah. And lo and behold, I didn't get the 5.9 Magnum. It actually has a 5.2 liter V8 in it, which I guess is known for being the slower one. It's still a V8, but it's just a slower V8 compared to the 5.9 Magnum. And I didn't realize that. You know, I just saw the door says V8. I'm looking at the motor and everything, you see that it has, 8 cylinders on it. So I'm just not paying attention, kind of talking to him, BSing along, asking a bunch of other questions. But yeah, another big mistake. Didn't go into buying this truck realizing there was 2 different model V8s. Like I said, I'm a Cummins guy, so this is kind of all new to me. This is my first gas truck in Dodge format. So that was news to me. So that was another big second mistake. So first mistake, seeing the truck at night, not seeing the rust spot. Second mistake, test driving it and not getting it up to speed, not realizing that it's super slow and I had the wrong motor in it. Okay, on to the third mistake. The third mistake is this truck has a pretty gnarly exhaust leak that I didn't realize on the test drive the day I bought the truck. Like I said, I've been driving this truck for about a week and a half now, so I'm sitting in traffic now because I drive it to work, and work's about 30 minutes away, so I'll be at a red light, and I'll be sitting in traffic, and you'll just smell the gas fumes coming up, and it's pretty bad. I did ask the guy if it had an exhaust on it, because as you saw in the first clip, it has a little bit of a rumble to it, but what he said was the catalytic converter is just gutted, so there's just nothing down there. There's a catalytic converter on it, but there's just nothing in the catalytic converter, so it's essentially might as well not even be there. So I do need to put either a catalytic converter on here or actually put another stock exhaust. I'm not going to run like mufflers out or true duals or anything out the back. I'm not a big fan of exhaust on gas trucks, so I will probably just end up putting a stock exhaust back on this truck. But that is another mistake I made, is just not having it cranked and walking around it and smelling anything. I just kind of pulled back on the guy's driveway, turned it off, and kind of just walked around it and just kind of talking to him more about it. So definitely have the truck idling. And this is actually the first time I've done it. I've bought at least 7 trucks at this point, and I have always just left the truck running and making sure anything leaked or anything like that. Once again, I knew this truck would be leaking something. I mean, it's a 1998, it's a $3,800 truck, so I'm not expecting the truck to be perfect. So I wasn't really doing my, you know, dotting my I's and crossing my T's, I guess you could say. With this truck, I was kind of just going into like, oh, you know, this will be a fun project to kind of work on. I did not plan on buying this truck, so like I said, this was an impulse buy. So I did go into it knowing, hey, there's going to be things obviously wrong with the truck. But all in all, for $3,800, it's a 4-wheel drive truck, AC and heat works, has a brush guard on it, has a light bar on it, which I ended up finding out is not even hooked up. The wire is literally just chilling underneath the grill. So I didn't test that, which I'm not too worried about that. I actually ended up ordering a wiring harness for it online, so that should be coming in. But yeah, I mean, all in all, for $3,800, a 4-wheel drive truck, AC and heat works, all the power windows work. The power door does not work, which is, I think just I gotta take the door panel off or something. But if you see over there, oh, the passenger door unlocks, but not the driver. So I don't know if there's a rod behind here that's just off it or whatnot. But yeah, this is pretty much the truck. The headliner and everything is good, which we'll kind of go into more detail on the truck in later videos. I don't plan on doing too many videos on this truck, just kind of want to show you guys the mistakes that I made when I did buy it. I do plan on cleaning it up a little bit. As you saw, I took the steps off. I think trucks look better without steps. I did buy another set of headlights for it, so I do have headlights that are going to be put on. I might have to take the brush guard off for that. I'm not entirely sure yet, which is actually another problem that I ended up finding out. The bottom of this brush guard, I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually not even a bolt to it. So the brush guard, I don't know if I can do this with one hand. You probably can't even tell, but the bottom of it is not even bolted. It just has the 4 bolts on the top. So I do need to figure out about that too. But yeah, I just want to go ahead and show you guys this video and the mistakes that I made. I do love the truck. I'm not trying to bash the truck in any way. I'm not trying to bash the seller in any way. I think I did a pretty good job. I did end up getting the wheels on this truck that I really do love. This is my favorite stock Dodge wheels they had on these trucks. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the truck as much as I do. I'm probably gonna go ahead and close the video out here. I do appreciate you guys watching as usual. And if there's any videos you guys would like to see on the truck, definitely let me know down below. And we'll see you in the next one.